We go to Annapolis, $30 million in the hole. The school system saying they're going to have to cut out read and recovery teachers, which are phenomenal, cut out specialty buses, which go to our programs like Visual and Performing Arts School in Suitland, where my kids go, or Talented and Gifted program, or our Magnet High Schools, cut out busing for that. So the budget that the superintendent has been sliced. So our job was to do something in a recession, and that is to go to Annapolis and make up a deficit of $30 million. Everyone said it couldn't be done. But we got together, the council, the delegation in Annapolis, and it helped that a few of my friends when I was in the House of Delegates actually were now chair of committees, and we can lean on them just a bit. So we asked, Mike Miller and Michael Bush and Derek Davis and all of our colleagues in Annapolis, and we did something no other jurisdiction did this past session, and that is we brought back not 30, not quite there, but $29 million. So the bus program is back in, the read and recovery specialists, the school system can now get in, and as part of our budget that I submitted to the council and the council passed out, we gave the school system an additional $14 million. So making sure that education is the #1 priority. So we're proud of that. But we know that we have a long way to go to make sure that people understand Prince George's County really is the growth area of the Washington region, not only for living but also for economic development. And so what we've gone and done is to actively pursue commercial development and residential development and retail development. So we've been very successful. Even in these short months, we were able to get the outlet mall at National Harbor, which for now will bring us Nordstrom Racks, Brooks Brothers, things of that nature. So not only gives us another shopping venue for folks in Prince George's County, more importantly for us, it now brings in revenue, not from property taxes, which I think we have to hold a line on, and which we will, but it brings us additional revenues into our commercial tax base, which is going to help Prince George's County be able to put more money into education, into transport, into road construction, and into healthcare. So we were able to do that. In addition to it, we're able to get not only Disney coming to National Harbor, but DreamWorks. So we have this entertainment facility growing in National Harbor. Well, what happens in the middle of Prince George's County? Where are we in terms of the middle of the county in sparking economic development? Glad you asked again. New Carrollton. The New Carrollton Metro Station, which not only has the Metro Station, which has the Amtrak line, which is anchored by a government facility, which is the IRS building, is prime for the type of development, transit-oriented development, that we should be pushing in Prince George's County. So we were able to push WMATA into going ahead, and for the first time, it's taken 20-odd years to get them to actually pick a development company to come in and to develop New Carrollton. So for the first time, we're going to have the middle of the county anchored with a major development project where you have a government facility, possibly another government facility coming in, and anchor in the middle. And then in the northern part of the county in Laurel, we're going to have Conterra development, which is going to bring in some 2,600 jobs or 26,000 jobs in that whole area once it's done. But will also give us, anchored in the north, one of the biggest development projects. Anchored in the middle part, you have New Carrollton, and anchored in the southern part, you have National Harbor. And then what we're going to do in the council, I proposed it to the council, and they adopted it, which is what I call our $50 million investment fund. And that is, we're going to, I'm determined that we're going to grow our commercial tax base. That the days of Prince George's County relying on residential property taxes or regressive taxes are over. That we've got to grow that commercial business and a commercial tax base. And so what we have is a $50 million investment fund that we're going to use to spur development around our metro stations. it plays right into the things that the federal government is talking about, whether it's transit-oriented development, whether it's green development, whether it's walkable, sustainable development, all around those metro stations that are right near our district line, which will help us not only develop in Prince George's County, but do something that I've talked about in probably the last 8 years, and that is actually having a project that we do in concert with the District of Columbia to make sure that the quality of life throughout, especially that inner Beltway area of Prince George's County, is lifted up. That is going to help us change the image of Prince George's County. So if we continue down the path of making sure public safety is taken care of, and in this budget that I presented to the council and they adopted, the two areas that I say were priority for the county, and that given the fact that we have a limited amount of money, there's a lot of great stuff that's going on out here and that people want to do, but we can't do it all. And so we have to prioritize the way we spend money. And so for us and for this administration, it's education and public safety. So the only increases you see in our budget are in public safety, where we're going to make sure that the police, fire, corrections, state's attorney's office, sheriff's department, that they're given the staffing that they need. Not all that they want, but adequately giving them the staff they need each year so that as people retire, they can replace them. But we're also going to put an incentive in there for those men and women who do a great job and who could retire, to retain them to stay into our public safety fields. For education, in addition to the $14 million additional money that we're going to put in the school budget, we funded their budget in the amount that they wanted, which means that because our student enrollment has gone down, we actually could have reduced their budget. But what I said was, no, we're going to fund their budget at the amount that they requested, because we're aiming to getting more students and more people into our school system. I think people, as the economy turns down, are going to actually have to go back to our public schools, and I want that to be a legitimate choice for them. I want the quality of education that directly impacts kids to be there. And so we funded those two priorities at the top of the list. And then for the other things that are important, I come from a nonprofit background. I spent the bulk of my working career in nonprofits. And so I understand the importance of the nonprofit and the faith community. And so what we're going to do is, it's one of the things that Levon has been charged to do, and that is to help us in our outreach in a nonprofit and faith community, so we augment what some of our great nonprofits are doing and some of the faith communities doing in the community, and make sure they can do it better. And finally, before I take questions, one of the things, and we could not duck this issue, and I wouldn't if I could, and that is, and I said this running, every issue facing Prince George's County, I'm going to meet it head on. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. We're going to meet it head on because we're better than it is. And one of those issues had to do with ethics. The perception, the way people feel about or look at Prince George's County from the business community or from the development community. And we've just got to move beyond that. And the way that we do that is addressing the concerns that people raise. And that's why we put together what is called an ethics commission. I asked an ethics task force to come into Prince George's County and look at every facet of our government and make recommendations on how we make sure there's transparency, there's accountability, and there's compliance. And that task force has just completed its work. They gave a copy to me and a copy to the council chair, Ingrid Turner, and we're going to sit down and we're going to determine whether Prince George's County has an inspector general. How do we strengthen our ethics commission? How do we make sure there's transparency so citizens can follow what contracts go out, where they know where the money's going? And then that way there is no question in anybody's mind that this is one of the greatest counties in the region, and the growth, and I think that's important to say, the growth for the Washington region. So I am very pleased to be county executive.